It is my distinctive pleasure to welcome you to my today's discourse. Today I want us to talk about tithe and offering. I know this may sound like a cliche, but tithe and offering is a subject that for quite a long time has been a subject of my research. So what is tithe and what is offering? Is there any difference between the two? And why should we give our tithe and offering? So what is a tithe? A tithe, this is a tenth of your increase or your earnings from your salary or from your business. Mind you, you don't give what you don't have. You give from whatever God has given you. This is something that should be understood. You don't give tithe and offering from alone. No, you give from what God has already given you. And giving 10% here, do we give 10% from our basic salary or from our net pay? Case in scenario, you earn 20,000 shillings. From this 20,000 shillings, a 10% of it, that will be 2,000 shillings. But here is the issue. From the 20,000 shillings, maybe you have some deductions that is being taken from your salary before you get it. Your basic salary is 20,000, sorry, but from your deduction, maybe you are deducted an amount of, let's say you have a loan, the housing things, etc. You have a deduction of 4,000 or 5,000. Therefore, your net pay will be 15,000 shillings. Therefore, your tithe, 10% of your tithe will come from your net pay, the 15,000 shillings. Therefore, you are going to tithe 1,500 shillings. Now, where do you take your tithe? It is important for you to know that tithes should specifically be taken to your church, where you get your spiritual nourishment. That is where your tithe should be given. So don't be mistaken by saying that you usually tithe by giving to the poor or the children orphanage. That is something very different. Tithe should be taken to your church where you get your spiritual nourishment. Now let's talk about offerings. An offering now is anything that you give outside the tithe. We have already calculated how the tithe is given. Tithe is 10% of what you get, your net pay. That is your tithe. Offering now will come from the rest of the money. And offering, here you are free to give to the children home, to any discourse that you really do give. For example, I usually give in a children's home. Therefore, I will give offerings, not tithe. Tithe will be taken to the church and offering can be taken anywhere. That is the difference between tithe and offering. And one important thing for you to know is that tithe and offering is not a negotiation. Tithes is a command that God gave us, and we must honor it, because why should man rob God? And something else for you to notice that you are giving it as a command. Therefore, you are supposed to honor it, because it is what God expects from you. And I hope my video has helped you to understand the difference between tithes and offering. Thank you for your